That's the reindeer section.
Beautiful.
Yeah, nice stuff. It's a kind of Scottish supergroup. Lots of different artists from
Ben and
Scottish
Sebastian
bands.
have got to be involved. Is it a lead singer from them?
It may well be, yeah, on that particular track. There's different people. Mull Historical Society, Idlewild, Teenage Fan Club, different people from all those bands get together with a guy called Gary Lightbody from Snow Patrol, and he writes
and
the
all
tunes.
that on XFM 104.9, Steve.
Absolutely. Let me just name that track. That track was Grand Parade from their current album, Son of Evil Reindeer.
Feeder. Come back around on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais. But who are you?
Oh, thanks for asking, Rick. Steve Merchant.
With us, Karl Pilkington. Well, Karl, now I know I shouldn't, but I met Karl in the week against Steve.
I told you shouldn't do
I
this,
know.
you know, you should
but
wait
then when he starts saying things like, oh, is this lad with a pig? I go, no, save it, and we just sit there and I'm scared to talk in case he goes, but, you did tell me a couple of little things, didn't you? True stories that, you know, that I mean, I enjoy. Can you tell, Steve about the doctor?
Right.
Oh God. Where, is this something that happened to a friend of yours, or is this?
No, I read about it.
You read about it, okay.
There's this little lad, right?
Okay.
First of all, it's years ago, right? When they didn't have decent doctors in like every town and that.
Yeah.
And this little kid is dead ill, right?
Yeah.
And the local doctor.
Well, there's a phone call involved, so I don't really get the impression that it's like medieval
times.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't say that. I just said it's years ago.
Go on,
so
then.
this kid's ill, right?
Yeah.
And he's lying in the bed, and he's all going funny colour and that.
Yeah.
And his mum says, I'm going to get the local doctor around. The local doctor comes round, and he says, oh, so I don't know what's up with him. He said, leave it with me.
Leave it with me.
He said,
the doctor said that.
I'll have he said I'll phone up a top doctor.
Okay.
Who was in America or somewhere like that. Yeah. And so he goes to the phone in his office and he calls America, and because it's years ago the phone line isn't that good, it's all crackly and that, right?
Yeah.
So he's talking to the doctor and he's saying, I've got this kid, he's a funny colour, and you know, he's really weak and that. I don't know what's
he's not giving him much to go on.
Right?
Sure.
So the American doctor, right?
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, what you want to do? And it's all breaking up, right?
Yeah.
He goes, what you got to do? You got to, it's all breaking up. You've got to give him some, parrot's blood, right?
Some parrot's blood?
Well, that's what he thought he said, but the line was really bad.
Yeah.
He meant parent's blood, but he heard that he said parrot's blood. He said, right, I'll do that, leave it with me.
I can see where this is going.
He goes to, a pet shop.
Yeah.
He says, give us like half a dozen parrots.
Sure.
Takes them round to the kid's house, takes the blood from the parrots, puts it into the kid's fine.
The kid's fine.
I've never
It worked.
Such a load of shite in my life. I've never heard such twaddle, such just made up, enhanced, exaggerated in my
a
life.
load of old rubbish, Carl.
I mean, when he told me this, the doctor said, what do I do? And the doctor on the other end said, give him some blood. And the doctor went, where do I get blood from?
So hang on, wait, I just need to
where do I get blood from? Give him some parents' blood. Give him some parents' blood. Give him some parents' blood. Yeah.
But hang on, I just need to know where you read this.
Carl.
Where was this? Where did
I
you read
stitched
this?
you up. You know what he said? He said, so do you believe that? I went, tell it to Steve. He went, do you believe it? I went, tell it to Steve. Carl.
Where did you read it?
That was on the internet.
What? Where is it on the internet?
I'm always looking at stuff. I was looking at stuff this morning because of Yoragella last night. eating all that funny food and that, and also they all got a bit scared last night, didn't they, with a snake?
I didn't see that. Is this I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here?
Yeah, he got all worried about a snake getting on the sort of wandering about in between the sleeping bags and stuff.
Yeah.
And they were all scared, and it is so easy.
Leave it with me. Sorry, the doctor says, leave it with me. Yeah. Leave it with me.
Well, they were all scared because there's a snake, and it's so easy to find stuff out. Before they, where are they? Where is this jungle?
Australia,
Right.
I think.
Before they went, give it half an hour on the internet. I found out with snakes, you don't need to worry, right? They're deaf, they haven't got any ears.
Right.
So as long as you're really quiet,
Creep around,
it'll probably leave you alone.
Yep.
And also, they don't have eyelids.
Uh-huh.
So they were suggesting if one's coming towards you, just like kick sand in its eyes because it can't blink, and it leaves it a bit like annoyed, and it wanders off. But they didn't do any research before they went.
Yeah.
And that's
I think your knowledge would hold you in good stead. I don't think you need to know any more than you know. Well, we're going to come back to that because he also explained to me where a saying comes from that I want you to be part of. But
and also you should mention as well, Carl, you've come up with a competition. Is this right?
brilliant competition.
He thinks
this can go to television.
Is this an idea you've come up with?
Yeah.
Carl, I'm so looking forward to it.
I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Continuing our exposure of myths and legends of Rockfall Tale, we expose that myth that some maybe older rockers have had it, and they've gotten they were never any good, and the kids today.
I don't want to hear that.
People like Rod Stewart.
Rod Stewart is a great artist.
He's
a slightly laughable man, but a great artist.
Let's go back to when it was rocking.
When he cut the mustard.
Yeah. Rod Stewart, You Wear It Well.
Great tune.
On XFM 104.9. Yeah, this doctor, I mean, we should find out who he is, really, and if he's still practising, because it worries me a little bit that, he did that. Also, I mean, he thinks he's got away with it, but how could he be sure those parrots wouldn't talk?
True.
Do you know what I mean? There were 6 of them, they probably got together and they probably put it on the internet.
I mean, I feel that story, Carl, it asks more questions than it answers.
Yeah,
really.
Like most of your stories.
Yeah, that's the problem. I always feel like I need a little bit more information. Like, did the parrot boy continue to live?
Yeah.
To a ripe old age, or did he die weeks later after this charlatan doctor who was going around, spewing things?
Did he break his nose trying to crack a big nut?
No, I think he was alright. He lived to a...
See, I'd have shouted, if I was that doctor, I'd have shouted that down the phone. Are you sure you said parrot's blood?
Yeah.
You sure it was parrot's blood?
Listen, I mean, I'm not the best doctor in the world, but did you say parrot's blood?
Yeah, but what you're forgetting is you're going back to the time where, like, they used leeches to do, like...
No, we're going back to the late 70s if there's a phone call to America Direct.
Come on, Carl. They weren't calling America, like, in the medieval times or in the Victorian age. Come on, think about it, Carl.
Yeah.
This has got to be like the 30s or 40s, the earliest.
Right.
I'm intrigued to know where this. I think there's someone on the web who's just putting information on there to lead you astray.
Yeah,
because you're the only person who finds this stuff. Other people are using this to write theses.
What were you looking up that then? What were you
I always look at weird stuff.
What were you looking for?
But what do you type in the search engine to find parrot blood stories?
What were you looking for?
There was this woman with a weird head.
Why were you looking for that? What were you
Just because I'd heard about it. I'd heard, like, someone talking about it on another station.
Right.
About this woman with a funny head.
Right. I love the fact you're intrigued with these things. You go in the basement of Waterstones or Dillon's or somewhere, and there's these medical books that you're loving, mate.
Yeah, well, this is free on the internet, isn't it? It's all there.
Yeah.
So what do you typed in? Weird head woman or
I think
lady with head?
Yeah.
Weird people or something I put in.
Sure.
Yeah. Did you come up?
7,000 hits, Carl Pilkington.
But it's all there, isn't it? It's interesting. The one that I was telling you before about, what's the name? The lost letter.
The lost letter? What's
lost postcard that's just turned up. Some woman sent a postcard years and years ago to a niece or something, right? Yeah. And her niece was like 3 years old back then. And just now, I think yesterday or the day before, the postcard turned up 74 years late.
74 years later?
It took 74
years.
And
that 3-year-old girl's been living in the same house that whole time?
Well,
yeah.
Sure.
There's not weird
you see what I mean? There's always a question you can ask to just scratch the credibility of these stories. Yeah. There's always, it's like the apocryphal tale.
Was this the slugs? Was this those slugs from last week?
Yeah, well, they're holding back because they're slow, because the postman's slug is useless. Its round takes him 74 years. Then he's got to go back to the beginning. He's got 74 years, and they can't carry the bag. That's why they turn to glue. That's why they turn to glue.
Oh. It's pitiful.
It is pitiful.
So you don't believe that someone sent a postcard years ago and somehow it's been stuck in the bottom of a post bag or something, and it's only just
stuck in the bottom of a post bag? Yeah. That means that there's like a 95-year-old postman who's still wandering around.
Did you have to pay like the difference on the charges?
Because
presumably
it wouldn't have had Queen Elizabeth's.
It was a penny black, presumably, was it?
Yeah. What would be on the stamp? It would have been invalid, surely.
don't know.
See, these are the questions you should ask yourself.
Because
Go
if
on.
it's the postman's fault, the post office can't turn
Who was
around.
only street at the time himself, wasn't he? He was the...
No, he is dead. Yeah, he'll
Yeah.
be well and truly dead now.
Yeah.
But the fact is that the post office made an error, right? They lost this letter.
Sure.
It's only just turned up. They can't turn around and say, sorry about this, I hope it isn't urgent. It's turned up 74 years late, and by the way, you owe us 25 pence.
Yeah.
They wouldn't do that, would
No,
they?
that's true, that's true.
So
That's
there
true.
you go.
You're asking questions, though, you see? That's true, you see? Hello. Testing. This is a special transmission. A special one-off show. With me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Hello there.
And the little bald mank twat that is the shaven monkey known as Karl Pilkington.
Right.
Now, Rick, just a quick question, because if people have just stumbled across this, perhaps on the internet or on their TV channel, they're probably going to be a little bit alarmed by what you've said there. You come straight in with little bald mank twat, and a lot of people don't know who that little bald mank twat is, so maybe you should clarify.
Well, I'm Ricky Gervais. You probably know me from such shows as The Office and Extras, cameos in the odd film. My long-term partner, not in that way, Stephen Merchant.
Not in that way. Stephen Merchant, yes, I was involved with some of those projects, but I've not been in a film.
And we met Karl when we went back to XFM as Conquering Heroes. We were let go when XFM changed hands, and then we did The Office, and then we came back, and we were big shots. No longer did we need to run the desk or press any buttons. So we were assigned, how can I put this, like a stupid lackey.
Yes, yes. Proper... I mean, probably the person who was lowest on the rung.
I'd have thought so.
Station.
They said, oh, give it to me, no one wants to work
The
Saturdays.
caretaker didn't work Saturdays, so they gave us Karl.
And we met Karl, and I was first struck by the roundness of his head, I'll be honest. I thought, this is a bald man, a little round-headed, bald freak of a man. He opened his mouth, he spoke funny. Actually, he spoke without opening his mouth. That was the second thing that struck me. He just had this slack-jawed gimpness about him. Words came out.
I think they got the idea now, anyway.
Was what?
Do you feel that that was a balanced explanation of your meeting with us, or would you like to offer any extra detail there, Karl?
Well, with every meeting, there's a different story, isn't there? The way you sort of looked at me and thought, he's weird. I saw Steve, it was like a triangle. Ricky was looking at me, I was looking at you, thinking that's weird.
It
and
seems
yeah,
a
that's where it
little
all began.
unjust that I'm the, you know, why don't you have any go at Ricky for being fat and
Just because, no, I'm just saying on the first meeting,
Right.
it's like a museum, isn't it? Everybody rushes to the weird stuff first.
I love the fact that you're putting yourself firmly in that category as well, though. Oh, I love that. That's great. Like someone from Reservoir Dogs. Everyone looking at someone else.
But you don't feel that way about me anymore.
No, I've got used to it now. That's what
No,
I'm
I'm
saying.
saying that whatever your accusations of weirdness were, they all were unfounded.
It moves on, doesn't it? It's like anything, you get used to a look, don't you? I watch a lot of programs on stuff that people have up with them, and
You only watch programs about people that got something wrong with them. That is what you do. If ever you say, "Did you see that thing last night?" It's going to be something like the kid who was born with too many legs, or the baby with an arse for a head. It's always going to be stuff like that.
it's like there was a program on a bit back about a fella who had a funny head and what have you, and he lived in a small village, and nobody double taked anymore because you get used to it, don't you?
What was up with his head?
Just had like it was sort of like the new Elephant Man. He'd sort of gone for that look.
He's gone for that look.
And,
Well, what does he do in the morning? Just eat a bun, sort of
no,
shave.
it's just that's all I'm saying is people in his village. You want a big village. People were used to it, and they no longer stared. And that's what I'm saying with you.
But it's interesting that because you say you've acclimatised to my so-called weirdness. I don't know what weirdness that is. I've still not grasped that. But Ricky continues. What?
It's just the eyes.
He's listing shit.
Why are you listening? So I've not had a go at you and your stupid round head like a orange. Which is the thing which perpetually entertains Ricky. Ricky is never acclimatised to you. Is that fair, Rick?
Yeah, I love it. I can't get enough of him. Because I see different things. Every time I look at Karl, sometimes I see like a completely sort of like spherical object. Right, like honestly, like some sort of pumpkin. on Halloween, and then I see flat straight
With
on
a pumpkin, Rick,
What?
with a jack-o'-lantern outside someone's house, right? There is a certain light behind the eyes. Not with Carl.
and then sometimes it looks like a plate. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, like a clay plate that a child has made,
When they've made a face on the plate using their food.
or a biscuit, like one of those biscuits, novelty biscuits you can buy
Sure,
at
that
your
you can
birthday.
ice with a little smile into mine.
Yeah, but that's not the. I think that's not the biggest thing about Carl. Carl, it isn't his physicality, it isn't it the roundness of his head, it isn't the gimpness of his slack-jawed face. It's not even his hairy body and sort of like chimp-like gait. It is.
Although those are all key features.
These are all key features,
Yeah.
but it's his incredible mind. And I think maybe over the next 2 hours or so, if you haven't heard of Carl, then I think you're in retreat. If you have heard of Carl, then you're already being treated, I think, by the fact that he is present on this special broadcast.
Rick, can I suggest that we take a pause there, play some music, come back and we'll talk some more?
Oh, this isn't just about Carl. We're playing some great tunes. Arctic Monkeys, Fluorescent Adolescent. Talking of monkeys, we're here with Karl Pilkington. I say we. I'm Ricky Gervais. With me, Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
Doing a special one-off broadcast. Now, it's special in the sense that I don't know why it's special. I started that sentence. I had no.
You had no
I had no backup. It's not particularly special. We've done this thousands of times. Well, it's special in the sense.
You got the old team back together.
Exactly. It's special in the sense that it is a one-off.
Yeah.
That's why it's a special one-off. It's special in the sense that it is a one-off.
I know it's special for me because I'm giving up a time, about 3 or 4 hours of my time for no money and no personal gain. So
Well,
it's a special treat
you
for me
say
in
that.
respect.
Now, Sammy Jacob, right, is the guy that founded XFM and gave me and Steve our break
Yeah.
in entertainment or whatever, comedy. I remember also on the second day, he said, when are you two going to do some work before I fire?
Yes.
Which was,
and
yeah.
I vowed that no one would ever say that again.
yeah.
And
So he called me out of the blue and said, you know, we're launching NME Radio. I thought that's a good project. You know, I'm a fan of the genre. Right, will you do a special show? Right, I called Steve. Steve went, well, I called Carl and he went, definitely not. And so I had to persuade these two miserable bastards to do this show. Carl, why didn't you want to do this? As a favour, I said to Carl, let's do it, let's do one. There's two reasons I wanted to do this. One, we'd stop the podcast. Yeah. Carl, we charged for the podcast because you'd left work, and, you know, we did very, very well with that, and I thought I want to give something back to the fans, okay? That's one thing, okay? Right? Two, I want to do Sammy a favour. Why not? Okay?
Well, that's fair. That's your opinion.
Yeah, but you, yes.
But what you can't do when you're doing someone a favour, you can't go, yeah, Steve and Carl will feel the same about it. Yeah, of course I'll do it, Sammy.
Well,
of course Carl will do you a favour, the man you've never met and you've never done a favour for yourself.
Well,
of course he'll do it.
Well, hold on. Steve didn't want to do it either. He was busy. He works on 6 Music, so he was worried about that. He shouldn't really be doing
I shouldn't really be doing this, and I'll tell you this, if you do love great new music and lively chat, then 6 Music Sunday afternoons is a great place to be with the Steve Merchant Show.
I agree. There's enough for everyone to go round. Yeah. Enjoy that, enjoy this. Yeah. But Steve does it a favour to me. I said, Steve, well, alright, mate, you've done me enough favours. Yeah. Yes, I will, okay? You didn't fall for that. I said, as a favour to me. No, he didn't. I even started an internet campaign to put in the poster up saying, Carl, do some work, you little lazy bastard. After a month, he was begging me to stop it.
I wasn't begging you, it was just a bit stupid.
You were really annoyed.
Yeah,
what I like, though, it's interesting because you're a busy man, Rick, and I know you've been heavily involved with lots of projects. How you found time, because you don't like writing and doing any form of administration at any time. How you found time to write a daily blog is quite remarkable.
Well, I knew it was irritating him.
Right.
It was, it captured the imagination of, you know, people all over the world. I wanted him to do this podcast, and here we are. What changed your mind, Carl?
Well, you kept going on about it.
Yeah.
And then I thought...
You saw friendship was an important thing.
Yeah, a little bit of that.
Now I've got to tell Steve something on air that Steve doesn't know about. Me and Steve are doing this for free, as a favour. I'm doing it as a favour to Sammy. Steve's doing it as a favour for me. That's what friends are for. Carl was negotiating himself some money.
Yeah, well this...
Who the hell have you negotiated money from?
With Sammy, I didn't know him. I owe this man nothing. I'm not doing anything for free. I've got bills to pay. We've all got bills to pay, right?
Oh.
You've got other work that brings you money in.
Let me just stop because...
Sick of it.
Wait, though, because this is interesting, because as you say, Rick, you're doing this as a favour to Sammy, he gave you your big break. Now, Rick, you gave me my big break, right? I didn't know Sammy. Ricky gave me a break. I'm doing this as a favour to Ricky.
Oh, hold on.
Who the hell gave Karl Pilkington a big break? Who would There's one man in this room who wouldn't even have an agent, wouldn't even have a need for an agent, if it weren't for Mr. Ricky Gervais. But hang on a minute, it's not me.
Nice one, Steve.
I'm already thanking you, Rick. By
Nice
doing
one,
free,
Steve.
this free show, so hang on a minute.
You miserable, ungrateful, little mank twat. Yeah, it's I hope you feel really bad.
I don't feel bad.
Me and Steve are doing it out of the kindness of our heart.
Yeah, free.
You're money grabbing again. That also on the internet, how mean he is.
I'm not mean.
You are mean, Carl, because, you know, we did those paid podcasts, and all I wanted to do was some free ones. You wouldn't do it.
Because we've done it now. I'm just saying you've got to get to a point when you go, I enjoyed that. Yeah, the podcasts were alright. Cut them off. You don't keep the story going. With the Bible, they didn't go, let's do another volume. People seem to like this story.
Yes, they did.
What?
The New Testament. The Old Testament was a
Yeah,
massive
right. They did it
success.
once then. They did like a special for the fans. But all I'm saying is...
one sequel.
But they didn't keep going on. And we did 3 lots of the podcast.
Yeah.
That's more than enough for anyone.
But I just wanted to give, you know, the people on the internet something back.
Yeah, well, we've given them enough. Sick
do-
of the people on the internet always moaning.
Why? Who am I?
Just moan.
Who do?
People do. Sick of it.
We
Calling me
shouldn't-
Graham. They said I'm not even real. They said he's an actor. He's called Graham. That annoyed me. That's the thing that annoyed me the most. Graham. Of all the names. It's just that if I'm not me, what am I? That's the thing that annoyed me most. If I am-
Not me, what am I?
Well, it would annoy me if someone was accusing me of something, because, I mean, that's the thing. No, it annoyed you because they were stating a falsehood.
Yeah, that's what annoys me. That's what did me head in.
Let's play a record and be back with Carl after this.
Landed from Ben Folds on XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington.
Had a fax. Never mind champagne and freebies like that. Just forget that. We're not doing that anymore. It didn't work. Okay, but we are still in demand. Got a fax here, right? So guy says, I produce a programme for the BAS scientists, right? Wintering in Antarctica. Now what this bloke is saying is, there are scientists, right, researching in Antarctica, and they're already locked away and sort of like out of touch, because they can't get to them, right? But they're soon going to be living in 24-hour darkness, because through the midsummer here, it's darkness for 24 hours for like 3 months, and they're totally cut off, and he's trying to get some stuff together, and he wants us to record a message, and it said, every year, they choose a celebrity to do something, a message, of their choice. They had Rolf Harris, David Attenborough, Jonathan Ross. This year, Ricky is the popular choice. So I'm up there with Rolf Harris, David Attenborough and Jonathan Ross in terms of the vote amongst some scientists stuck in a hut in Antarctica for 3 months.
I think they've just got cabin fever.
So that's another poll I've won. A British Antarctic scientist in a hut poll.
I was trapped in a little room with several other men for 3 months of pitch darkness.
Sexist.
Or indeed women.
Yeah.
I can't imagine why I'd ever want a message from Rolf Harris. What would Rolf? I mean, David Attenborough, fascinating.
Well, I
Jonathan
assume
Ross,
it is it's the animal. I assume they're researching penguins or something, aren't they? If they're stuck there, or maybe
But what's that got to do with
seismic
Rolf?
activity, or maybe polar shift. I don't know.
Possibly if he were researching kangaroos.
Yeah.
Strange
Well, he
Antarctic.
knows about all animals, doesn't he? You can take him a budgie with a broken wing and he'll sort it out. Or he knows a man who does.
Sure.
He can, you know, he'll sort that out for you. And he'll do a picture of it.
Yeah.
While you wait. So, but anyway, I thought they want a 5-minute message. We can do better than that. Let's dedicate the whole show to them, Steve.
We're gonna what?
Dedicate the whole show to them. What, was it trouble with my diction?
A little bit. I'm just thinking again, you know, we've got to slow down because these guys are there, they're working, they're busy.
They're used to, speaking eloquent
Yeah,
English.
exactly. They're used to talking to intelligent, educated people.
Yeah.
So Karl should be something of a surprise to them. I imagine they'll just flood back early and come back to study him.
So, this is, this show is dedicated to all you I know nothing about them. I don't know how many there are. I know they're just, as I say, in a hut somewhere, presumably with a laptop, drinking, hot chocolate out of steel mugs with...
Just looking up porn.
They're not on the internet, are they?
Oh, are they not?
Well, no, there's no phone line.
Well, how do they charge up the laptop when it runs out?
Well, they've probably got generators.
They must have other stuff. They got a telly and that, haven't they?
Of course they haven't.
No, for DVDs and things.
Well, they could probably have a DVD player that would run off a generator and stuff, so they can play. I don't know what we're giving this on CD or something, but
and what are they?
how can that enhance your life though? That you like 2 months has gone, you've sat there, you're chewing Kendall mint cake and just looking round at white walls, right, thinking that the Thing's gonna come in any minute and put you out of your misery, right? And you go, all right, lads, it's here. What? A 5-minute message from Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
Who? The fella from The Office? Oh yeah. Go on. I mean, so I don't know how I can enhance. I mean, I go mental.
One of them's going, I voted for Ricky Martin. What?
Yeah.
But I don't understand what they're researching. You say penguins, but that's just a hypothesis.
Well, they're assuming that because it's Antarctica, where the penguins live.
Is there anything else there? What else is going on?
Well,
There's presumably climate differences and...
Well, yeah, because it's a
changes and so on.
landmass, isn't it? Arctic's just on ice, and Antarctica is actually a continent. It's a landmass, so there's stuff there. But presumably not in the winter. I imagine it's like 10 foot of snow, and really not a lot happening.
Sure.
I don't know what they're researching. It could be astronomy, as I say, it could be some sort of seismic thing, it could be just testing polar melting, it could be penguins, I have no idea. I haven't got the information. I don't think they wanted us to go into what they're doing.
I suppose they already know, yeah.
They probably want to know what's happening in the world for, well, we've got the man here.
That's an interminable 5 minutes for them. We've already wasted that 5 minutes. They're going to put it on excited to hear from you, and they've just got 5 minutes of us discussing what they might be doing.
What I'm worried about is this bit, so for these 10 people there, we've just annoyed the 200 listeners we've got. Because they're thinking, what's in this for me? Well, we'll have fun along the way, and what I think we're doing, they've been stuck there, as I say, they're out of touch, they don't know what's happening, so Karl Pilkington is the man. We're gonna have a break, we'll have a song, maybe some ad breaks, and then Karl is gonna let these scientists who are stuck away in the darkness know what's been happening for the last couple of weeks. Is that alright, Karl?
Well, you know, I don't really follow the news, so they probably
play
know
a
more.
record.
I was going to ask them what's been going on.
Embrace a glorious day. Well, it is a glorious day, Steve.
Brilliant.
Every day's a glorious day, isn't it?
Well, it is when I'm with you.
Yeah, love the world.
Yeah.
So these scientists, they're stuck away in the darkness. Let's tell them what they've been missing. What's the highlights, Karl, of the last, Ricky Gervais and Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington, by the way, XFM 104.9, etc. What have they missed for the last, just do the last few weeks? What have they missed? Remember, they haven't got newspapers, they haven't got telly. What's the... Look at him, he's looking at me like I just said that in Arabic. What do you understand? Think what's happened. Think what they haven't got that you know about. What have you seen and heard in the last couple of weeks that they couldn't have?
Well, like on the news and that, what's gone on in the world and that?
Yeah.
Well, or just things you've done personally. I think that'll be of less interest.
Yeah.
Pope's dead.
Okay.
I like it. I imagine that. Imagine if that was the breaking it to them.
Yeah.
Like they're listening and you go, what's happened? The Pope's dead. Well, don't say it like that. Break it to us gently, Karl.
Well, I think that's better than how they do it on the news normally, though, isn't it? They make a big deal out of it, and you panic a bit when it says breaking news, and you think, oh, there's a war on.
Yeah.
And you go, Pope's dead, and you go, well...
So you've just used that short, sharp tactic.
Yeah.
Like ripping a plaster off quickly.
I just said it softly, no, Pope's dead.
When you know all that coverage of the Pope with like those millions of people that had gathered in Rome and stuff, I was thinking about, you remember we talked about the Queen Mother, and they were queuing up to see the Pope.
Yeah, like 4 hours to
and
get
once
a
again, I
glimpse.
couldn't help but feel if they popped him on some kind of like dessert trolley and just wheeled him past everyone else, they could have got that done in about 3/4 of an hour.
Yeah.
You know, once again, people not thinking, they're not expanding their minds.
So you're
What, like students and Rag Week with a bed down
Oxford
Oxford
Street.
Street?
Novelty beds. They're all dressed in kind of cardinals gear.
Yeah.
Just, you know, trundling them up and down the, yes.
Well, it's the way they also said they've now got a new Pope. He's hardly new, is he? Why didn't they learn from the last one?
Sure.
You're taking on old people.
Yeah, yeah.
My dad couldn't even get a gig in B&Q. There you go.
Oh God! So who have we offended? I mean, the thing is, it's clever because soon our offensiveness isn't going to be sort of like we're feeling a bit guilty about offending someone. It's going to be like we're going to be living with Salman Rushdie.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? The things. I mean, that's pretty. You know, don't have a go at the Pope.
I'm not having a go at him. It's good that you can carry on working and what have you, but I thought everyone had to retire at like 60 or whatever. Like, bloody hell. But, you know, whatever, if you can get away with it.
Yeah, why couldn't your dad get a gig in B&Q? I mean, he goes there a lot, doesn't he? He goes there a lot!
That's why. If you're just joining us for this one-off show because you're trapped in a bunker somewhere in the Antarctic, you should know this of Carl's dad. He's a thief. He steals things, and we've openly discussed this before. He steals this from other elderly ladies and elderly people. Perhaps
He's not like Raffles, though. He doesn't go into their house.
He's not a gentleman thief.
No, don't people let's put this in context. You know, he's not a villain, but sometimes when people leave groceries lying around in a public telephone box.
No, what it was, where they live now, they've retired, right? They've moved. I won't say where they are, but somewhere quiet, right? And it's so quiet.
It's not a witness relocation protection scheme.
Because there's only about 8 people live in this village, it's not worth, like, the like, corner shop.
There's only 8 people living in the village?
It's quiet.
The village of the damned.
So anyway, so rather than keep the shop open, you're meant to call up and go, alright, Harry, I need some milk today.
Right.
And they stick it in a phone box outside in the shop, and my dad found that out. So when he's been out, just stop off at the phone box, have a look at what's left lying around.
Yeah. But of the 8, I mean, there's 8 people in the village. My attention would be instantly drawn to the dodgy Manc fella. I mean, do you know what I mean? It seems, in Manchester you can probably get away with this, there's a lot of scum up there, but down in this little village, you know, you got a little Miss Marple type and a little, you know, country policeman.
He's stopped doing it now.
Has he?
Stop doing it, yeah.
Cleaned up his act.